Hi, if you've tuned in a few minutes ago, let's try this again. Well, I see something's going to, it's really haywire. Anyway, so when I logged into Facebook to do the Facebook Live today, the interface looks very different when you're using broadcasting software like this. And the first thing that come up was, welcome to your new dashboard. We've improved your experience. And I'm going, oh God. Because usually when that happens, it's like, okay, so it doesn't work, or you got to figure out the bugs, or they haven't really improved the experience. It looks like they may have. We totally lost the feed. I was on live about 5 minutes ago, but I was hooked up with Wi-Fi, and I think that was the issue because Wi-Fi, it's great, but sometimes with this, you got to go with the old plug-in cable, and my switcher, which is right down there, seems to not be talking to the software as well. So we can still do it. It's just a little bit more clunky, but anyway. So you can always tell when you're stepping into something, because it's a new segment today. When you're stepping into something new, there's that resistance when you do. Shows up in the craziest ways. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in again. Shout out and say hi in the comments. There always has been questions. I've just sort of turned them on now. So there should be a question somewhere. I don't know where. I'll have to watch this afterwards and see exactly where it pops up. The question, which ties into the topic for today, is, do you have any questions, any wonderings that you've been looking for answers for, topics or aspects of your experience that maybe are causing some frustration or something like that? For instance, like this software that just will not do a damn thing. Um, all of a sudden, it just doesn't work. So, and there we are. So if you do, post the answers and the questions, and we'll see what Source has to say either on this show or on an upcoming show. So I'm just gonna check and while we're here, because again, the experience has been improved and updated, so you never know what that means. So we should have the questions should be there. This should be here. Yeah, before it just absolutely died. Okay. Oh, it looks like there's a question there. But does it cover the screen? Okay, I think I might have closed it. So I don't see it at my end, but I probably see it at this end. Okay, well, I'll play around with the questions later, but anyway. Okay, so boy, I wish this works. It makes it a lot easier. Oh, hold on. I'm going to try something while I've got you here. I'm just going to try something and see what happens. I do this. No, you know what? Don't push your luck, Russ. You're right. It's working. Don't muck with it. Okay. So, new topic for today called. I thought that was really cool. And now it just crashed again. No, there's something that's not working. Looks like today isn't going to work. We'll try it. I'm going to do that again and see what happens. Yeah, the feed isn't going today. Shaw must be having some issues. We're going to try it and see how it goes. So, question and answer. So, the question that I wanted to talk about today is, as I said in the description of the show, is the most. I'm just keeping an eye on things now. Is the most asked question. Then we get it very regular basis. It's often the reason that people come to our workshops, and it's phrased usually. So, how do I keep people from? How do I stop picking up other people's energy? How do I block other people's energy? Things, that type of thing. Okay, so the first thing is that, I tell you, for us, one of the things we really, really focus in on is, it's not about mastering your experience, it's about mastering managing your experience. And now as we flow into that, it's about managing, not, it kind of lets go of the good, bad, all that kind of stuff. How do I block? How do I do this? It's really managing. And I think that's really important because managing is very dynamic. And as you go along your journey, you're going to discover, pick up different tools that you use that work for you in managing your experience. So I think that's probably one of the first things is it's not even about blocking, it's not about preventing, it's about managing because, well, let's just flip over to Mr. Flip Chart. And I'm hoping this is going to work. Hold on. I got to do it with the mouse, so it takes a little bit longer because I remember where it's at now. No. Let's try that one. Oh, look, I guessed right. Stupid switcher. Anyway, so, oh, let me take this off. Hold on. So we're not clicking and clacking. Okay, so this is you. And how can I go with this? Oh, I see. Oh, cool. And this is your external world right here in your external world. Yeah. And oh, it's a little bit off the screen. Anyway, it's about managing your external world. Where's my bag? New flip chart too. I'm just kind of figuring out how it all works here. Let's just do this while we're here. So that would be the eraser, and then we do this. Okay, we got this. And this is your external world. And there's always energy flowing in and energy flowing out. So there's always a flow. Something else that I'm finding really interesting, flow is green on my end, but it's not when you're watching it. I have no idea why that is, but anyway, it is. I wonder if blue is blue. Does blue look like blue? Yeah, blue kind of looks like blue. So it's about managing this flow. And so there's always energy flowing out and there's energy flowing in. I think really where the difference is whether you stay balanced. Another word you'll often hear. Sometimes it just doesn't want to go. I might have to go back to my old one. My old flip chart worked really good. It just used a lot of memory. I'm pushing so much stuff through this poor little computer that she heats up pretty good. So is that whether you're staying grounded or balanced in that energy flow? And I think that's really the difference. Or that's what really makes sense. Or the key, boy, I got stuff happening all over the place, is that it's not so much about blocking energy. It's not that you pick up people's energy. It's about managing this flow or this interaction of energy that's happening all the time, all around us in our environment, whether people, places, things, and events. I need a lot more coffee. So for instance, I was outside last night. It was fairly late, midnight or so, completely still out on our balcony, and there's nice big trees. Sky was clear, of course, and things like this. So there's this flow, right? This flow of energy that's always flowing. Now, in a case like that, I just sort of surrendered and just allowed that flow back and forth, right? It's not just this way. It's always flowing back and forth. So I just simply allowed myself to kind of just absorb, but not just absorb, it's that flow back and forth of my surroundings. Like there's a big spruce tree and then again, the moon and all that kind of stuff. And so allowing that flow. So there's always going to be this flow. The trick is, how do I manage it? Because there's other people, places, things, and events I find myself in that, again, there's this flow, right? But in this case, I don't want to just kind of and suck it in, right? In this case, I want to sort of just buffer it. I'm not really even trying to push it back. But what I'm doing, this is really important. You see, it's not about blocking the energies, the other people, places, things, and events. It's not about blocking that flow. It's about sort of minimizing the amount of that flow that's affecting you. Let's flip back here. Oh, I wish I had my switcher. So it's not about sort of blocking this flow. It's about managing it. And so the energy is still flowing to you. But what you're doing is, it's like, because it's not harmonizing with you, because it's just simply flowing through. Now, actually, a really interesting, I'm going to have some of the details haywire in this for you astrophysicists, but I'm going to go with it. Oh, it's energy waves. What is it? Oh, isn't that something? Oh, throat chakra. Isn't that cool? They're energy. There's energy that's bombarding the planet all the time. I can't remember the name now. Anyway, but I think because it has no mass, it just flows through us. And even though it's flowing through us, we're not affected by it in any way because there's nothing for it to resonate with. And I think that's the thing, right? It's the energy is flowing through us, and we're flowing through and it's going back and forth. But if there's nothing in us for it to catch on to, oh, okay, I see. We're not going to be affected by it. So I think that's a really important thing to remember here is when it comes down to managing that energy or non-physical, and that word's going to come to me, that non-physical interaction that's always happening. So when we try and block it, in a way, it's almost self-defeating. I'm not saying that there isn't times where you have to, right? But it's almost self-defeating because you're almost doing this to block it. And that energy is always going to be flowing. And then, of course, what happens is, and we see this so much, is sometimes when you block that energy, you're blocking everything. You're not just blocking, I'll use labels here, you're not just blocking the bad energy, you're also blocking good energy. And of course, those aren't accurate phrases, but we'll go with it. As opposed to managing and choosing in a very real way the flavoring of energy that you choose to resonate with, i.e., now it's connecting, and the energy you don't resonate with. Now, to use an example, I keep wanting to go to my switcher over here, but anyway, a radio. Now, this is, I don't know how they work now, but in the old days, some of you remember this. You remember the dial on the radio, right? It was like, welcome to 630 CHED, which you kind of went past it, right? So, and I mean, there's examples of it here too. So what's happening is with your radio in the car was all the stations, like all those radio waves were in the car. Every station was in that car. But you used the radio, which is like a physical device. The radio you used and you tuned in to a specific radio station. So you tuned in. So in my days, it was tuning in. So you folks in Alberta, you tune in to 630 CHED. Remember when 630 CHED played rock? You tune in to 630 CHED. So what you're doing is when you tune into that, all those other radio frequencies are still present. It's just you're not experiencing them in any way because you're not tuned into them. Now this is kind of this is something that makes you think. So this energy flow is happening, right? Back and forth all the time. There's going to be some flavorings of energy that you resonate with. And if you resonate with it, you now feel it and or are affected by it. So if there are people, places, things, and events that now it's not that you're picking up their energy because you're picking up energy everywhere. It's the frequencies of energy that you resonate with or you're feeling. I think that's a thing to remember. We don't sort of win the war, if you will, by blocking all this energy. We win the war by being able to tune in to this energy flow coming in and back out again, right? Coming in and out. And tune in to the ones that feel good, that we like, and then tune out the ones that don't. See, so we're not blocking the energy. We're simply choosing the ones we tune into, and we choose the ones we tune out, which in a way is a topic for another discussion. But for me, the understanding is everything. This is why so much of our, my mouse disappears, so much of our events are focused on information, understanding, application. Information is cool, but you need to have some understanding, some relevance of it, an understanding of the landscape. So we talk about, again, how do I stop myself from being affected by other people's energy, on and on and on. What does that mean? Like mechanically, what's taking place? And that's one of the reasons that our workshops are as effective as they are. Because we base them on understanding, not memorization. See, if you understand the mechanics of what's going on, it's a lot easier to manage it and a lot easier to choose tools to manage it. That's one of the things that trips us up so much. Okay, how do I stop taking on other people's energy, affected by the energy, all that kind of stuff? Well, what does that really mean? Mechanically, what is happening? And this is what is happening, is there's this exchange going back and forth. Oh, I'll get this to work. Going back and forth of both, if you will, good and bad. You're just resonating in some way with what you would consider, and again, I'll use these labels just for fun, bad energy, negative energy, poopy energy, whatever it is. So once again, the empowering piece of this is, okay, so this energy is flowing in. Rather than trying to block it, what can I do to minimize that resonance I have with it, or minimize the effect that it has on me? And this, I may sound a little bit like a broken record, but it always comes back to you. It always comes back, it always comes back to your spiritual practice. Right? It always, oh, I see, when I do this, the mouse jumps over. It always comes back to your spiritual practice. See, the best way to manage or minimize the effect other people's energy has on you is before it happens, not when it's happening. So the more you do your spiritual practice, whatever it is, what brings you peace, what brings you, hashtag I want to feel good, all those type of things, you're strengthening. And boy, we're still dropping frames. That is just so crazy. Strengthening. But this is a good topic, so I'm going with it. Is that you get that groundedness and that balance before you ever enter into it, which is so huge. And then whatever tools you choose to use are going to be so much more effective when you need to use them. I used this as an example in a show once. Can't remember when. I used to work at a petrochemical facility. They had an emergency response team. The emergency response team, they did drills all the time, doing training and drills and all this kind of stuff. 99% of them, they would never have to use in a real world experience. But why did they do all the training? Because if that happened, then they were ready to manage it effectively. And so all that training that they constantly were doing, they would probably never use. But if they needed to, thank God they've done the training. And this is the same thing. Again, your spiritual practice, your self-healing practice, as you learn, as you grow, all those things allow you to stay more grounded, to stay more balanced. Balanced, not rigid, right? Rigid is stop. Balanced is, okay, I can flow, right? One of our spiritual sayings, I'm going to say this, I don't think it'll be bleeped. One of our spiritual sayings is, doesn't make petunias out of assholes. So it doesn't mean that, oh, I just love being around you because I feel like crap. But what it means is that they still be there, but you're not as affected by it. And then the second piece, then when it's gone, you don't have the residuals of it. So I think that's important to remember too, is you're in the presence of people, places, thing, or event that just doesn't feel good. It's negative, it's bad, all this kind of stuff. You're probably just you're going to feel that, right? Now, the more balanced you are, the less you will resonate with it. So you might feel it, but it's not going to throw you off your game so much. And the most important thing isn't even that. The most important thing, once you're out of that, because remember, everything in our physical experience is always moving and changing. So once you're out of that, or finding an excuse to get out of that, you're minimizing that residual effect that it has on you when it's gone. And I think that's the thing. So often we go, I need to stop this energy. Why? Well, we might not even realize this, but the reason you want to try and block that energy is not so much so you stop feeling it right now. It's that you stop feeling it once that's gone. That's the issue. The issue is when we say we take on other people's energy, we've resonated with it, and then they're gone, but now we still have it. And so part of that is source now. Part of that is us resisting and pushing against it, because the more you push against it, the more you resonate with it. Oh, that was good. So the more you push against something, the more you resonate with it. Then when it's gone, when it's changed, when it's shifted, you have now carried that signal, made it your own experience, and now you carry it with you. So in a very real way, when we say I pick other people's energy and then it stays with us, it's now not theirs anymore. We've resonated with that signal, with that frequency, a lot of times because we're push, fighting against it. This is really good. Resonated with it, and now we carry it with us afterwards. I'll finish with the story because it's hung in pretty good. I don't want to push my luck. I'm going to try this question again. Hold on. Oh, questions? Because I'm going to watch this afterwards. Oh, no, it says it's still open. All right, well, we'll see what it looks like. Anyway, so Mary Jo and I were going, it was the middle of winter, and we were going probably to California, Florida. I'm not too sure. See, there's that card. I'll see what happens if I made that go away. Weird. So we were going to somewhere south. So California, Florida, somewhere like that. Middle of winter. And so we parked at the Calgary airport, and we're walking towards the airport. And we had half a block, maybe, to walk. And we had our summer clothes on, right? You're not going to take your winter coats. We had our summer clothes on, had our carry-ons. So you get out of the car, and it's minus 15 or something like that, and like instant freeze. So here we are, and we're walking, and freezing our butts off, other body parts. And I can see the door. Right? I can see it. As soon as you walk in the door, they have those heaters, right? Oof, with warm air. And we were saying to each other, okay, it's cold, it hurts, it's cold, it hurts, it's cold, it hurts. But there's a door. There's a door to the airport. And as soon as we get into the door of the airport, there's going to be this blast of warm air, and we're going to feel warm, and we won't feel cold for another 7 or 8 days, however long we were gone. So even though we were in that cold experience, we were sure as hell resonating with that cold experience. We identified it. Here's a homework for you. Wait, hold on. Homework. Here's your homework for you. When you're in the presence of people, places, things, and events that stink, that you're always going to pick up their energy, is feeling negative, is feeling all that kind of stuff. Don't so much try and stop it right now, again, because the more we rail against it, the more we resonate with it. But what you're going to do is you're going to remind yourself, this sucks right now, but once this physical environment, once I'm out of that physical environment, then I will feel totally different. And just reminding yourself that, I think, is really going to help. Same thing with the airport. We're frozen, we're cold, it hurts because we're so cold, but as soon as we walked into that airport, literally within seconds, we were warm. And all that cold we felt, we couldn't feel anymore. And you go, well, of course, that's just like stupid, because your outside is cold, your inside is warm. Of course. Same thing happens with this. That energetic interaction that's happening, it may feel miserable, it may feel, again, negative, all that kind of stuff, but keep reminding yourself that this is temporary. God, the streaming is really bad. That this is temporary, and that once I'm out of it, I don't have to feel it anymore. All right, guys, I might even do a short video. We're going to watch this later, but the stream is dropping like crazy, so I'm thinking Shaw might be having their issues. But anyhow, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah, some days it works. Some days it doesn't. All right, guys, see you on the web.